back in the trading system, it's 20 minutes to 9. It's middle of the week. Going for the retest on the euro again. If you didn't sell at that window above that last wick, and you're still holding this thing through the news, then you are a trooper. You must have a 100 pip stop. So the thing to do there was to get out just when we clipped that top, right on this. I got some, let's see here. I put 25 yard lines in, so 25 yards to the next whole nother football field. So right now the strategy is to come in with buy limits, and I think I have some double clicks in here I want to play with. So also there's the buy one at the market and buy some on limits, but I would say limits is going to be the way to go. This way we don't have to guess. We know for certain if it tanks, we'll get filled. So how close should we get at this time of night? Let's say after this. So here's a pre-written double click, and this is Cedar FX. Let me see how fast the execution is. Of course, the demo might vary on the real money. Okay, so we're holding this in 250K long, the euro right now, into this plunge, into this just mind-blowing, taking out the low of the week, as they trap all the poor trend traders up here, right? Didn't they just get scorched there? I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at that thing. So that was the window. I said, if we ever make it to that, and that was the target that everybody was hoping and praying for, and then we hit it, right? So one man's target should be another man's exit at the 25-yard line rule of thumb. If you're trying to make 25 pips with a 25 pip stop, I bet you can see on here what your trade plan would be. Well, you're long right now on something, I hope, for the next 50 pips. So I'd recommend, this is like a ivermectin kind of hook up here. You want to get in there, and then you want to get everybody to buy here. I'd be a big buyer here. If you ever made it here by the Friday, no brainer. Even the people that trade channels would agree, right? The channel traders would agree. I think I took off all those indicators, by the way. Here, I'll just do it. Manual draw here. So I'm just going to come on top of this. Chart ain't going to move or nothing. So that is the so-called line. And you can see that you're kind of banging on the end of the channel. Not to say you can't drop out of that channel. And if you draw a wick window on your channels, so you have closing prices, and you gotta be kind of sloppy when you trade. I guess that's the moving average argument. Let's go for a different color here, so we can do some fast on-the-fly analysis coming into the close here for entertainment, plus for money, for prizes. Yeah, so I'm very long under this support level here. I'm finding this to be the best situation at the moment. Let's go for some big ass lines here. So let's get really sloppy, because you got to think like, okay, that looks like a good trade. From that, I mean, who's not buying? You're sold out 50 pips because of some bullshit news. And they poked it up there. And if you had the perfect trend line, they might have touched it, but you didn't need that. Even the people that had the trend bot that they wrote that has the glorious, is this big fat pixel now? The crossovers and, this is it right here. Like, big monster pivot, right? But you could have either sold this run to here or this run to here. Like, it's just endless possibilities. And we're talking about 4-hour chart here. So you're waiting to get paid. Like as this thing crushes into the buyer's window, which is a 25 pip window or 50, but you got to think about risking that many pips. So you lay all this track and the market comes to you and the scenario's all built into the trade plan. Obviously you want to scalp that 25 pip window like a bitch, like make yourself $1,000, right? I guess if you had 3 standard lots into a 25 pip window, in an hour, I guarantee you're going to make $150, and you can let the rest go through the next phase without having to get out. If you can't afford to do that, then you're going to scalp out, dump half of it with a take all profits. If you laid so many fucking limits in there, you're going to have to decide, did I overload it? Because when they spike down and all of a sudden you're in 400K and you're up $1,000, you're probably going to, I'm just going to tell you, you probably want to get out because these are flash wicks. Like look at this one just before the plunge today. It comes to this perfect setup, and I guess even ICT would have to claim there's an order block up there at the 25-yard line. So how many football people would understand what I'm talking about here? See, now, if I went to a line chart, you'd be like, God, look at the fucking respect that thing has for 25 pips. Yeah, because 25 pips is 10% with a bad spread of cost of doing business. It's like a booking agent. Yeah, 10%. And these auctions are so fast and dirty. Like, of course, they bid it, the clock's running out. This like if you tracked auctions or just look at the price of memory, look at the prices of anything that's being sold, it gets hammered because there's nobody there to buy it, or it is hitting people's it's fueled by goober stops, but those people are making money in an order flow method. They're making money. So it's the entry execution that matters. Is this a stop entry? Is this a market order? Are you buying because this is at 9 o'clock at night on a Wednesday night and they just beat the shit out of this euro? Like they took the euro and they said, well, it's FOMC, nobody bought the euro, we'll sell it. And of course, all the people that were bullish saying it was going to go even higher than that critical window. Like I said, if you were waiting for this shit, another 25 pips, you never saw that. Now that was it did come back to the weekly low again. So there was a double chance to sell it there too. So without even talking about going long, which I'm typically talking about going long because it's a lot easier to perceive to me making money by just putting in the limits here and getting picked up on a crash. So even last night, even this morning, I just dumped the whole thing and then I bought this mini plunge. And when I got here, I just said, when the news came out, just before the news came out, I could see they were going to ram it down. Or I could see there was not that they were going to ram it down, but if they did ram it down, it was going to be the most killer dumb shit entry. And it was. And that's how you got to the high of the day, because the spread went to about 5 pips. And then here it comes. And so I had my finger in the take profit key, and they was smashed down, fill about 50K, about 70K. It comes ripping back, and that played out. So then I just waited, and I dropped some more limits because I figured they're going to refresh that area. Comes all the way back to the top, and I go, well, I'm just going to go flat. And then I'm like, this is ridiculous. It just cashed out. And then I had some sitting on that. The other play you could have done was to go along the dollar. So you could have been in that yen trade last night and rode that screaming north. So that was the other option. Okay, let me delete this stuff. So this classic structure trade, I guess you call it, where the market seems to have to come back to the starting gate. It's like, weren't we just here on this price? This is ridiculous. But my capture window is always going to be the new lows and new highs. And if it's really, so here was the trade today. It looked like this. I see they're going to come out with the report. So it's on the, I'm on the 15, I think. No, I had this one going. So I said, yeah, this is going to be crazy. So I put in a order bank. I had it all like in this 25 pip window. And they went down and hammered that thing. And then they ripped it up. So you can't really see it on here. So here was my fill. I was prepared to take more, but I captured this whole wick. So here comes the news, and then the spread tightens up. The spread's still kind of wide here, though. I'm not getting the best fill. But it was fantastic. They got me out of that trade, and as the market went screaming back, as it usually does, it rips back so hard. So it comes back to... so it goes up and it traps. It does a double top up here. Now, if you're a real sniper and you're sitting there with your finger on the trigger and you think they're going to fill you with the market, I think this is a great trade. So you press the button. Double top on the 5 minute. So 5 minutes up there, you sell. Forgot the wicks at this point, right? It's just about... I'm selling, it's trapped up there. So that's how fast that was. In 15 minutes. So I got filled on here. You can't see my fills because there is no wick on the so that's the big secret. That, you know, the candle, it's like, okay, but you want to trade the wick, right? And in, out, dump. And then I said, that's fucked up. So I bought this plunge. And I scalped a little bit here. And then they took out the low of yesterday by a half a pip or something stupid. And I got in there. So I'm still long from the plunge today. And we got a little baby hammer starting here. So I'm prepared to buy the whole night down. So that's my feeling. I'm just really going to buy it, but so I got to put the orders in now. I'm running this double click, and this is going to be 15 minutes of buy limits I'm going to put in here. Pretty fast fill, I must say. Now, this is pretty deep. Now, if the news was going, that's a very fast broker. If the real account's this fast... this is that Cedar FX company. Look at how fast. And now this is a deep 10 pips to 30. I gotta get the delete objects going here. Wait. Yeah, let's put this on add the favorites, and then we can just bounce back and forth. So, because we kind of want to get that off the screen, and then we want to fix the scale, and so we can see these orders come in. So this is pretty low risk trading. At least it's pretty it's sophisticated trading. You don't need a mask. It's very sophisticated. Oh god. So yeah, you gotta wear a mask, or what's it gonna be here? Everybody wearing a mask at this place? Can I opt out? Okay, so I'm hog long this thing into the smash down. 4 hours, just brutal, right? I'm going to drop this script again. I wish it could be, yeah, you can different color arrows if you want. You can change the color of the arrows, but the lines will be the same color. So if you don't delete your arrows, you could designate different colors to the arrows if you wanted to get crazy like that. Yeah, same limit. So I wouldn't put any sell limits in here, but just tonight I'd be trying to buy this in a very low risk way. Like I'm going to buy for 10 to 30, 20 pips with a 30 pip stop for 30 minutes. Really? But if that happens, it's going to be good fills. So here I'm going to get very aggressive now. There's $5,000 in the account, and I'm just going to put in all 3 scripts. So whatever that cost, if every 15 minutes or every half hour, every hour you come back and refresh that, and they smash down, and then 2 hours from now you're up, I would get out. Regardless of the targets you set, regardless of the original idea that you had. I have greedy targets, but you know, when the market comes like this FOMC news, when they came and took out the high, I said, well, that's probably not going to last either. Everything is so insane. But I'm not in that big. I'm at 80K or something. Whereas before that, I was in 300K because the Asian session, I don't want to say predictable, but, you know, we know they're going to, when 6:30 in the morning comes, or before the news, and then before the Dow Jones opens, when the Dow Jones opens, you could scalp 20 pips regardless of direction, just because it's so spastic. So your trade plan has to be based on the if it's a swing trade, then obviously, you know, you don't care about the spread. But if you're trying to scalp this thing in a big, high probability windows, yeah, you probably got to be in pretty big. And I've had some shallow targets in there. Because if it's fast enough execution, I suppose that doesn't matter. But let's see if I get some trades going on this thing, see what it's like. Here, let's see. I'm going to close all open and pendings. Here's another test. See how fast the brokers. Let's close everything. You know, we'll just go full bailout. You know, so here's kind of my panic button. That's pretty fast. So that is about the fastest. I guess when you open the demo, they give you the server speed. That's very fast on their side. You know, well, I would say it's a very good broker. So let's go to that 1 minute chart since it's boring on the 5. Very tight spread. So their spread's it's kind of wide a little bit, you know, right? It's a little wider than Trader's Way spread, that's for sure. Trader's Way is sitting at like what are they at? They're running very tight spreads here, but slow execution. So, you know, have it your way, Burger King. But it probably tightens up here though. Maybe it's more has more dimension to it. Like it gets tight, gets wide. It certainly looks tight here on the tighter than most. Here, 1 minute chart. I wonder what their server was doing. Oh, what their chart looks like on the 5 there. Yeah, so here, let's come back in. So if I thought, well, that's kind of ridiculous trade plan, what was I thinking? And if your broker's not going to penalize you for closing all those tickets, because some of them will, they'll say, dude, like, what are you doing? You trying to blow up our servers? Oh, gosh, sorry, buddy. Didn't know you're running fucking antique shit. Okay, so here, that's a 2K, you know? I think I master stop on that. No, see, you got different stops there. So here's basically the double click world, which now, if you've got the money and you on a tablet, this works really good. You'd have a Windows tablet, you know. This works really good. So you say, well, I'm going to just double click this shit. Now, every time the market plunges, I can put the same script in. I can stack it right there. In other words, if you know what's going to happen when you hit that button, and then if you see it starting to slam down, Just come in like this. Okay, that's a 30-minute trade plan. Now, if this was the U.S., if this was the news coming out, this would be actually a beautiful trade, I think. And if you didn't write a script that came in, so you could write a script for every pip, and I've got all those too. I guess I wrote them all, but you have to like have these single double clicks. That's like, oh, that's gonna buy fucking 3 pips to you, bing bing. It's more work, but there's more detail there. Now this thing, putting in an array of tickets like that. Yeah, I think if the account was bigger, I would just put fucking from 2 pips to 28 pips, and it's putting in a 28K that's custom written with its own little scalps in there and bullshit like, oh, it bounced like 5 pips with an 8 pip stop. And it's all commingled in so nothing does repeat, because if you start dropping, like if I start double clicking these, technically speaking, you're starting to stack up. You're ruining the point of singles by having repeating prices. Where if it's a custom written thing, okay, so I'm very long here on the swing accounts, on the swing side of this trade. I'm looking for this thing to take out the high of Asia now. The target's going to be, we got to go after this. And I think a lot of people will be probably dumping into this. Like I actually have stuff built in to dump to that because it's so wacky that we could probably even go lower by the time U.S. markets open. I don't know, but yeah, this looks like a punch through. There will be sellers here, and we can cash out there, which if we put anything new in the system, if we added to it, or we want to start buying now because we got enough margin to do it. So there's that, what is and it was taking out the low of here and taking out the low of yesterday by half a pip. I swear to God, half a pip there in the bid. It's just ridiculous. And then screaming out of that, right? And that was, I think, right at about 8:30 or something, 8 o'clock. That did turn on a dime on the half hour, actually. In the most cliche kind of situation on the half hour chart. That's how they roll it, So we got that. Let's go to the half hour. See it turn on a dime here. Pretty much. Shaped candle there. No, I should probably put the directional on these candles. So I'll make them a classic candle by the up. Bull candle will be just none. There you go. Yeah, people, you lose your mind otherwise. So here, it's an engulf, right? But you want to be in during the engulfment. So you want to be long in this box. And look how they just go. I swear it's half a pip window of taking out the low of the previous day, but that's where we're buying. Well, we're already long, so it's not like I would put $1 million position right there and hope they fill me, because the spread, you wouldn't get filled anyways, especially on this broker. Maybe there's no commissions on this. I don't know. But fast as hell. Lightning fast broker, so if you're really into that. We got to take out this. Basically take this out like a zipper there, but it's a very ruckus day. And certainly the buyer's delight down here. And never the follow through that you think you're going to get. So we still have to go down. And one more day. So yeah, unless you have a 50 pip stop, that's kind of but I would just keep adding to this. Every time this makes a new low, it's probably the most difficult thing to think about, but it seems to be the only way to make money. It never got filled on this thing. So I'm going to chase it with limits now. So what I used to do is buy at the market at this point thinking, well, God, I'm just going to get in. So I just come like this. And it's only going to last for 15 minutes, so I'm going to trail these. I'm actually putting them in every 5 minutes, which is pretty aggressive. But since the market went up, they're in a different position, kind of. There's $5,000 in the account, so we got to think about that part of it too. Okay, we're digging out of the hole, and it's going to be another. Man, I've already lost my power once, people. Just come on. So, that's kind of a light, kind of too bright of a entry color for me. I can't even think straight with all those tickets there. Somebody said, "What's with the tickets?" Yeah, I know. It's too much. I'll tone that down or something. It's ridiculously bright. Oh, that's the exit price is the problem. That's what's killing us. Okay, so entry only. That's all we care about. We're presupposing that we have some we kind of know that we're risking X. So let's keep trailing this with a buy limit. There you go. And then here you can think about stuff like this, which is pretty low risk, but certainly if that was a 4-hour script. So now if this is the dollar yen and the news was coming out, and I do have scripts like that, would run perfectly at this broker, right? So this broker could even though the spread's not the best, right? It's so fast that if you wanted to get out in front of the market like a cowboy and start putting these orders in, you're like, yeah, we're coming in at 80 pips to 90 pips. It's just like these cluster scalp banks that are all custom built to just market comes through, sweeps through those tickets. You cannot see where the stops or the take profits are here. All you see is the getting into the trade here. If you can imagine where that's like a one click and it does like a perfect martingale in one case. But I mean logarithmic. A nice curve. And then even a soft stop on that, and then a exit that. So I've experimented with these different kind of envelopes. So the classic envelope consists of an entry that looks like this. So we have the limits here, but imagine each of these entries here that, well, just for the sake of torture, we're going to just say we got a master stop here for all of these tickets. And just so when we see the equity curve of what happens with this robot, with this big man, it could be a softish master stop down here. Take profit side? Yeah, so you're going to have to run several robots, maybe 3 robots that could take care of this situation. Maybe it starts getting out here on your first take profit, and now you're going to scale out like, I guess, Fibonacci style, where, it starts to, and of course, ideally it's here just on that particular button press, which is impossible, but imagine that. So it's more like that, right? Where you're going to scalp out of a lot of tickets here, and these guys are going to be kind of like, yeah, right. I mean, if it gets there, sure, you know. And if it gets there by, oh, geez, Europe Open, right? What happens when Europe opens? Are we be down more, or are we going to go up? You know. So at the end of the day here, and can we make 20 pips? That's what I'm thinking. So I'm looking at 25 pip grid. I got the hundreds on there in a different color, but it's not like we're trying to make 100 pips. It's not like that really. The market doesn't seem to give a shit about 100 pips either. Like it doesn't give a shit about 25 pips because it blows through it. So your brain may see, oh, well, that's 25 pips, but there's really no respect for anything. The market just goes up and down, it just happens to land there. And there are coincidences. I mean, it's not a conspiracy. Not everything has to be a conspiracy. And some of this stuff is just clunky, obvious trades, Gee, that thing's really down. Should we buy? I don't know, Joe. What do you think? Guess so. We've been making money so far. I mean, you get so sophisticated with that fucking Garley shit, man. You just want to put this like Scientology all over again. Ron L. Hubbard. Don't knock it. I was a Scientologist. It's really good for you. Especially the first course in communications where they hypnotize you and make you pay money and you're hypnotized. It's ugly. Let's try to guarantee a fill here. I wish I had one that was going to buy a little bit more shallow, but that's fine. That's why, this method is convenient because if you're on a tablet, you can just press the button. The drag and drops, you're really thinking about the trade. This is not really thinking. I'm just thinking, wow, here we go. So I go like this now. If I see that action, I'm like, okay, man, bring it. Now here I would just say, oh, this is a great, because the rate of change just picked up. If it's dropping at that, you want to come in with this 30 right now and just go watch a movie because, or it's a trading assistant. Let's start buying down there. Granted, if this order lasts 4 hours, it might want to go like 20 to 40, 80 pips deep. Like if you really want to be conservative, if you can trust yourself to just double click it once every 4 hours, 4-hour script, so you have a constant 4-hour risk of X. It's like having an employee that has a potential of costing you, although they haven't charged you yet. And when they do start charging, because maybe they did something productive like get filled, not like that, But so I'm going to put another one of these in. The aggressive. I guess it is filling. So when I see it tanking, I'm going to hit that same key and try to get in even more because I figure, well, I must have just laid in about 80K there or something since I've been pressing that button. Well, so we just got filled on something. Leverage is 501 here. Okay. So they're 401. Okay, so yeah, it's $2 a ticket for margin, 501. So looks like we're gonna get it filled. Great. So let's even get more heavy into it since we do have $5,000 and we're bullish and we refuse to trade at the market. I just refuse to. I'm not gonna comply with that market shit. So I do have it there in emerge. I have it there if I'm like, if this thing was just crashed down and I thought, God damn it, they stopped me out. And this is like, I can't even believe what I'm seeing. Like, really? Double mask and of it? Wait, 5th booster, 3 masks, and do what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, how much is this job? How much you pay me? Yeah, just to get in the restaurant. I got a vaccine passport at McDonald's. Can you believe this shit, dude? Dude, that's you just it's like they're woke or something, medically woke. I mean, I just hope I die of corona, like without anybody knowing about it. I mean, it's just so I can't even believe what I'm seeing, dude. Like nobody had the flu last year. Hello, what happened? Huh? I must have a tight stop on this. Look at this. I'm about to get stopped out of this shit. Yeah, this must. I don't even know what's in. I don't even know what the stop is on that, honestly. So we might get stopped out of this. Let's see if there's commissions here. Because that'll be. Huh? No commissions. So that's pretty good. No commissions. Shit. Forgot what I said. Oh, I think it's something you get to buy a tree or something. No, it's comments. So I got the comments turned on. And some of these aren't accurate. I think the 15-minute chart says, so you can write anything you want there in the comments, then you could dump that to a spreadsheet if you really cared about that. If you're that kind of nitpicker kind of person that's going to care about that stuff. But otherwise, we always have the... Oh, that's pretty damn good, I mean, I must say. It's floating, but no commission. Huh, really? So it's not a bad spread at all. You just don't see it. Trader's Way, you just don't see it. They give you a tight spread, but they're charging you commissions, so. That's the psychological, oh, that's probably why I'm seeing that fluctuation on my phone. Because the commissions are hitting, and then I'm up on the trade, right? So you're up on the trade, but you're really not because you paid commissions on that trade. So it turns blue on the Android, and so the difference between that. Yeah, so this is pretty decent because you're not having to really pay for the... This is spread I almost went to, looks like the worst it goes here is about 1 pip maybe. I assume when the FOMC came out, this broker probably went to something like 15 pips maybe when the news came out. I'd be curious what happened there. So you'd have to babysit that kind of thing on multiple brokers to really see what's going on with the real account. But it depends, I had a broker that if you didn't have money in the real account, it was very fast execution like that right there. But as soon as you put money in the account, it was like slow. And I tested it 3 times. And I said, man, you guys, come on. So I don't know if that was just a filter that they put in there because, well, they're like, there's money in the account, so it's different kind of margin now. This is not a demo account anymore, even though it's a real account. And the lady says you can't trade with that. And I said, yeah, you can put orders in. There could be no money in this account right now. A real account with no money, the scripts will run. They just won't fill. They'll just erase themselves. So. But it does matter these days, It's pretty quiet here in Asia. Hey, look at that. I'm at a 3K. I'm just killing it here, man. Just tearing it up tonight on this fucking currency. I have to hang through the swing here. Quite a beatdown. This is on the M30 chart, 30 minutes. Our team will reach out to you later. Your call is very important to us. I'm going to have one of my team members or teammates, what do they say now? Buzzword fucking soup shit on the... I'm calling people now, man, for like technical support, and I'm telling you what. They're feeding their dog in the background. This one lady, I don't want to say nothing because she sounded cute, but gee, babe, you're doing what? What are you doing? Building a house? What, Habitat for Humanity shit going on in the background? What, you and Jimmy Carter? The hell's going on? I'm waiting for my pizza and my Uber ride. Uber ride. When they were telling people you had to wear a mask or something, I mean, I went to the hardware store and these people were wearing masks in there. I just felt so bad. I mean, I told the one guy, dude, you like lose. I can't understand what you're saying. Stop it with the mask. Mumbles? I want to hear you mumble? Are you serious? Okay, it's almost 9:30. Looking for a retracement here. The beat down after the FOMC probably blew a lot of people's minds, that plunge, you know. They're like, damn, they didn't like that. U.S. says they're not going to change the interest rate? They don't have a choice, man. The bond market's going to come unwrapped, right? So anything below this round number, look how they just kissed this round number on bid. $1.17. Magically cut that to pieces, but only down a few pips below there. Couldn't get the party started yet. Trying to go for the next big low. What do we got here? Yeah, so look at this beat down. Doji, cut up, trap all the breakout artists, then crush anybody that can't handle that sell-off. Wow, what a beatdown. So buying underneath here was, where did I have it? Here was my entry point. So why I loaded up on this thing was getting below this price here. Anything below there, I was just couldn't wait to buy. Plus, this bottom of this day brought forward. So you look at that forward. Anything below there, I'm buying. So the scalp, you know, to the top of that is the low. Here's the low from last week, right at 1700. Look at the news on this. Look at this is the news, this pin bar as they call it. So that dip below the 17 level, rips back above 17. That was insane. I'm sorry. It's over here. That's the news. It's the same situation. But this is the freak out moment of today. People lost their mind there. It's not as great of a trade, but you can see if you get in heavy here. No, this is the FOMC stuff, but same situation, right? You're buying this wick, but when it gets above here, you're like, yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's a problem zone. That's a big giant trapola. But I think selling into this would be a huge trap at this point. So I'm very happy to buy anything below here on the euro. With enough money in the account, right? I always have to put that qualifier in there. But here I'm barely long. I'm only in 3K. So when this starts to go up, I can trail it with buy limits because we're probably going to retest. really high probability that we could just be going down another. So let's always estimate deeper than we think. So the market has a hell of an extension to it. That's a 25 pip box. And we could constantly stack up tickets in here, but I would change the entry prices, the targets, the ratios, and the time they last. So change the time they last to like 2 hours, 4 hours, and then when you come back every 15 minutes or every 4 hours, maybe you run the 30s, the 1 hours, the 2 hour, 3 hours. So the most conservative way to trade it would be you got double clicks, but you're really trying not to get filled. You're trying to be deep for a long period in a complicated trap, kind of you want to snare the market in its typical, well, I guess the price of a wick. If you had an indicator, and I actually have an ATR that shows just the wicks, so it'd be just like, what is the wick every hour? By just taking the ATR and forcing it to look at just the wick. And so this is, or open to close ATR only. So only pay attention to open to close, or just what was the wick, whether it was bullish or bearish would be inconsequential. But you can make it, what you do is you set up like a histogram, and then anything that is above is an up wick. Anything below is a down wick. But it's like, well, what is the wick value? And then, so you're kind of in and out of that trade, so it goes round trip there. And you're just trying to snag that zone for that retracement. And that's the strategy. Then you have that kind of pays the rent so that you can withstand riding, say, the line chart, which is, or waiting 12 hours to get paid on some position. It helps pay for the you can hold that position because you're paying along the way by the fact that the market is ranging. You don't necessarily have to, unless you are going to close all profitable trades or all open and pendings, just dump the whole trade plan. But if that's the case, then get another trading account and trade the same currency on a different account and a different broker. So you can have the swing mindset running when you run the account that has the euro, and then you can think like a scalper with the euro, or you can trade against yourself. You can trade against the other position. So that would be a real contest. If you could, you get the same currency, go long and short at the same time, two different counts, but the short trade, right? So that would be a way so you wouldn't have any bias. Because a lot of people have the bias idea, and I think, really? Do you really want to trap yourself into thinking of one direction only? You don't have a backup plan, so you mean to tell me that if it goes up, your 200 period moving average has made you into a, not to say that you would change your sex or something, but, to be, right? Oh, look at this, got a beautiful, so my profit zone, because I put those pendings in like that, and actually I think it filled, it was crashing, slightly different take profits there. So the I guess because of the spread I got filled on, isn't that weird? I see different take profits per a different spread there on the take profit, but because I guess when I got filled on that one particular ticket, yeah, something like that. But okay, so I'm in this position here. So it's 9:30, boom, and we're holding this giant swing trade. And we're trying to make it to the floor here initially, right to here, for this high probability trade to pay the rent. We could still have the opportunity after we scalp out of something here because it's just built into our typical, we want to make 8, 12, 13 pips, right? 20 pips, 25, whatever. But if we can cash out to here, or maybe we take everything off the table here and just go, you know what, we're getting out. That's all there is to it. I don't care if it keeps ripping. If you do that, I would come right back in with buy limits like this. So that's what I did today on the news. When it went ripping up, I go, we're getting out of that. That is, everything that's happening fast is never going to last. Everything that happens like that on these charts or in these price smashes. But if you were to wait all week to buy down here in the new lows, that'd be about best swing trade of the week right there. Or best scalp to here. At least that, right? So we're riding the retracement here. All aboard the retracement train. And this is going to be coming into, I guess, the jobs report tomorrow. And then Friday. But I would say the market is going to go sideways now. It's very choppy. We could tread water here on every market now until the end of the year, at least that much. And I've seen the Bitcoin at 42 after it banged off at 50. So that you could be trapped. Like, so you could be trapped for the next 3 years. Between 70 grand and 40 grand. I mean, people would just lose their minds. I mean, anybody that's looking for, I guess it's the heartbreaker of these markets is that, these people make these projections where Bitcoin is going to take out the high of the year and just go to the moon. I just don't know, man. That just seems like completely insane. Because inevitably these markets get saturated with so many players that it's just a transfer instrument. It's not as if, they found the cure for cancer. Although you probably get killed if you did that, apparently. But yeah, we're just trying to make money on us. The market being in unfair value right now on the dollar to the euro to the dollar. And the euro had it coming though, because if you've seen the punishment that the dollar yen had taken and the punishment that the British pound had taken, I bought that British pound actually with some tickets, and that was a nice scalp. Same situation. I didn't trade a lot on this pound, but this is what it looked like today on that, and this is just buy low theory. It was worked out perfectly today on this one. But I didn't trade very big tickets, but that's 30 pips, you can make 30 pips really quickly. So when I did, I just thought, well, it's the pound. I'm just going to get out. This is just before stocks opened. Or just before, let's see, it came up into. Right, so there was a big move. There's an attempt to go up there, and then about 3 hours later, they came out with the news. Here, let's stretch this chart out. So the same situation here was, I think it was one of these plunges here. I bought and then dumped it. I just know I put tickets in based on this low. So I basically was just trying to capture anything below here, and I really had to get in pretty deep because. So I actually did this before the news. I didn't trade that through the news thing. I bet the spread went pretty brutal wide here, but see how they chop out the high. So if you have orders sitting in this pocket, 25th pot, and you don't have to. I guess you would take a little bit of balls to lay the tickets in there, but that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, is put the tickets up there ahead of the news. Yeah, they could smash through it, but I mean, what do you think? I guess you think it's possible, right? Because when the news comes out, you're like, this thing's going up, and you're like, wow, like, is that just going to keep going up? But it comes up there, and so based on the size you got in, I would say if you're here to see it happen, it might change your mind on the trade, and you might make more money if you don't see it happen, right? Because then you actually, the whole trade plays out. If you intervene, sometimes, if you're watching this get filled on sell limits and you're like, man, it comes to here, you're like, I'm getting out, you know. So we know the market did that. Bing, bang, and then bam. So same thing in the euro. You take out the low of the week, and then dead cat bounce, come back, and now maybe, I'm just trying to make 25 pips. So typically 25 to 50. And a lot of these moves are just complete. They're just done, and then we have to go the other way. The market has to somehow, when it's done, it's typically ranging, so it may look like a trend, but I guess this, like I said, this is the only trends I see is stuff like this where, okay, that's a trend. Got this nice section here. There's a nice trend. Here, I don't know, that's a little hiccup and then smashed on, beautiful smash, but I guess this is my favorite trade, is buying into this. Oh, it looks like I gotta buy a little bit here at the market. So buying into that, and just these quick thing. Now this is kind of tough. It's tough sledding here. It's kind of drifty, but I'm sure the trend traders like that nice drifty behavior. Okay. They're making me buy at the market here. Twisting my arm. Okay. Let's get back into that. So here, we're up 88 cents. What do you know? But that was what I wanted to happen. Then come down and fill my buy limit. That was my whole trade plan. One loser draw. Okay, what are we at? We got, let's see. Yeah, we're looking for the engulfment now. It's got to start treading north on the British pound here. So we got to take out this high and just take back all that. And then it's got to take out this and on and on. But, or it's going to keep tanking into this giant abyss down here, which does not look likely now. So I'm not in that pound because my targets are too tight for, the spread would be a problem. My targets are too tight for that stuff, so I'm just running. The euro's too easy. It's not bad spread there for no commission. But it does go to about 1.5 pips. There's see 1.3 now. Okay. Check out this euro dollar. Now I'm going to start trailing this on buy limits. See how those tickets disappeared? I got a couple 30-minute tickets left over. That's it. Let's hit these limits again. See, now they look like they're too close. So you keep trailing that, and if I had a 30-minute trailing robot, I guess I'd turn them on. Or I'm just going to do that, or I'm just going to wait till about 3 o'clock in the morning when they might retest this area. But if you're going to sit here and keep dropping these orders, you know. So I just bought on the plunge. The 4-hour plunge I bought. So it doesn't mean we're going to retrace every time this happens. Every time the market tanks like this doesn't mean it's going to bounce, unfortunately. So there's no rule of thumb. But it did take out the low of the week, and it went back about almost a month. So this low is like a month ago. Yeah, it's pretty old low, so that's why you really want to buy anything below that low from a month ago. Huge reversal point. That's why I could never understand why no nonsense wouldn't trade a reversal, because it has to be the biggest money making, tightest ratio trade on the planet, really. I mean, there's no way around that. It just has to be the tightest. So I'll move my targets here. I loaded the wagon on this thing. I don't want to get out yet. Looking for a psycho engulfment into the European Open. Yeah, why wouldn't you trade a reversal? Isn't that really the best trade in the world? Instead of getting some sloppy trend. Oh, I'd rather have a sloppy swing than a sloppy trend. The trend thing, I guess so, but this faster money when the market spikes down. You just trade the spike. Just trade the wick. Okay, we're going to cash out into this. So the other way to go is to have a screen for exits only. And you can drag and drop those. Let's see, put this. What do I got here? 20, okay. So just change the properties to, I'm going to show the exits. Get rid of the entries. Oh, exit only, geez. It's pretty brutal. So here, but we can't, we know there's targets above us, so it's going to hit us target too early. And we could come in with maybe 40 pip target. I'm going to change my targets now. Looks like we're going to come ripping back. So I got about 260 tickets here to about 240 tickets riding on this. So I guess this is manual trading, but what else am I going to do? You know, it seems like the prudent thing to do. So I'm managing the trade, but yeah, the fill was pretty deliberate. You know, just threw limits and really dunced on there. Seemed like the obvious entry price. Okay. Got another account there. So, yeah, that's that. We're going to just let this thing start retracing like some rape date. Try to make those 20 pips to the low of the week. 20 pips away. Just above the 17 that we blew out. So I'm going to leave my targets. I'm going to start getting in at 17 and above. Okay, let's stretch it out. Let's see what the exits are here. What a mess. Actually, because it's messy because I've still got buy limits that haven't filled and they haven't deleted. So here's what I could do to clean it up, is to delete all the pendings. Let's make sure I get the sound turned off here. I'm going to blow your head up. Let's see. On this recording. Let's go to options. Go to events. Enable. So that should be turned off. So you turn that. If you have this on, it'd just be so loud, you just go deaf. So let's just take the pendings off. I don't think we're going to fill on those now. All right, so we're trying to make it to okay. Jeez, okay, great. Alright, so I just pulled the trigger on the wrong thing here. Yikes. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, you gotta pay attention. So, 17. And above. That's my exit. So let me delete some of these tickets here, so I can see the actual exits. Can't go too fast there. Yeah. Well, I guess I put a lot of tickets in there. This will clean it up this way we can see the exits better. Everything below, since I'm trading one direction only, everything below should be can't go too fast. I don't know. Like I said, it's a slow broker. Same thing on the Android. If you close the ticket, it's about the same. Terrible speed. So if you're impatient, come to the cash out window. So now you can see it showing up here. It's tough. So the pendings, there's a script to delete just the pendings. I don't know where it's at. So instead of deleting everything, which that's probably what I should be doing, is I know it's in there somewhere, all these fucking scripts, but there's one that says delete only the open ones, and one that says delete only the pendings. And I think one says delete only buy pendings. You can have it so it deletes only buy or sell pendings, I think. Those are useful things. Because here, so I'm deleting all these pendings and I can see my actual target now. I couldn't really see the target based on pretty sad. Here we go. Almost done getting rid of these tickets. Oof. I think I could double click close ticket here. But I'm afraid I'll take off that bottom ticket that I'm in. Okay, so there you go. I got 4 left. Oof. All right, so that's the top target, 17. So right where the floor. Just I'm gonna cash out all the way into as we come back into here, and maybe we won't get to here. This is gonna be the grandiose target. Is right there. But the first target, there still has to be this one here, right where I'm going to start cashing out, because I figured, well, all right, if it looks like, well, since I have enough money, if it gets to here, I might start putting buy limits in, like here. So it comes to here, and then I'll just add. So if it does retest, I can do it again. And the reason why that's the way to go is, well, listen here, you know. See, here's the thing. I'm not joking. Look at this. Now, this is the 1 hour chart, but look at this. 1 hour up, 1 hour down. What the hell's going on here? And that's the little nick. Take out the low of the previous day just by a skosh. We have to step in front of that and just go hog long into that. All right, so we're holding on, white knuckle to here, and then I guess I'm not gonna. Yeah, I guess I might put a couple buy limits in, but I don't want to get so it's end up just making money range trading all this, because I have a hard time believing they could take this thing out, keep tanking, but maybe they will tomorrow. It just seems so inconceivable because of this. So if I get out of something here, or maybe I'm just up enough money I want to get out. If I get to $2,000, I think I would just get out there, but this might be a nice quick and dirty retracement of, like, if you do Fibonacci off this 1 4-hour bar, well, you're down like 50 pips in 4 hours clean here. And what are you, 50% retrace on this thing? So in 4 hours, you drop like, good lord, like 60 pips there. The candle's bigger than that, but just the close, just the open from the last bar down. So this is a pretty conservative take profit, is to cashing out as you crush back into this. And of course, these are my stops. I could start getting stopped out down here, but the thing about it is, I'm so pissed off. I'm going to buy down there. If that happens, I'm going to really be pissed off. I'll probably open another account. I'll just open up 5 accounts and just buy down here. So that's my view. If it took out this, I know I just buy down here. for the next 60 pips. Just give me all that too then. Oh well. Look how they just crushed that in here. It's so funny. Now it's just blistering back. Just ripping back to this floor now. What a classic. Classic trapola. That's how they roll it, man. They just completely torture these poor people that are using that moving average here, and everything looked real good, and I got short here, and Joe said, let your profits run, and I sure did, and man, we were up on that trade, and then overnight came back. It was like fucking goddamn Dominion came in and just fucking hooked up to the thermostat routers, and just boom, there goes my votes. It's like Hannah Forex. All right, we're taking out the high of Asia. Give me some of that. My target's starting to get triggered. I'm triggered myself. Damn, nabbit Luke, we're making money. Didn't think it was possible. They said it couldn't happen here, but now look at. Well, you look at that. Now just look at it. So I'm looking for 50 pips here, actually, on the swing account. I'm going to change my targets to 50. Okay. Go for the big targets here. This looks like it's me the backlash. It'll be like France kicking you out of the. They're going to stop sending wine over here. They're so pissed off. French wine prices are breaking the French bottles of wine. Remember the French fry thing? What happened to the good old days? I'm not buying any French fries then. It's okay, buddy. You're breaking my heart, man. I don't know what I'm going to do about you patriots. Well, we got a Patriot Act to lock you up with. Well, that's why we wrote it. Dumb shit. Why do you think we call it the Patriot Act? I know this guy who's a sovereign citizen. I'm going to have to run that by him. What do you think about how the Patriot Act is really not very patriotic? Be locking people up and shooting them in the head. Yeah, because I saved a lot of lives killing that girl. What a dumb shit. I saved a lot of lives. I'm like a hero. Well, if you drop enough acid, I'm a hero. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. Almost going to go blue on this fucking account. Don't make that. Nobody should treat the euro like this. All right, riding the storm out, waiting for the fallout. Yeah, that was quite the sell-off. Trying to take out the Asian high. We're about 1 pip from taking it out. I guess we took it out. So they trapped us. They trapped the breakout, guys. It's reaching to the floor there, and then I guess I'm kind of greedy because I don't start getting out till here. I'm above 17 by 4 pips, so I'm even greedier than that, I suppose. Look at the daily on this thing. Took out the high of yesterday and then took out the low of 2 days ago and the low of retesting the lows from a month ago. Wow. This thing is just, its mind is blown. What a great place to get in. Okay, we're looking for those quick and dirty pips. Now we got to go busting through this. That's what we got to crash through. And then we got to cut and never look back once we take that out. That's the plan, Stan. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. Boom. Now we got 4 hours till Europe opens, and Jobs report. Yeah, dollar's fucked. Let's take a look at the trade if you're gonna do the trade last night, if you got in on this trade, then you're a fucking genius. There's another obvious retest of the weeklies. You could have bought on limits. Anything below here, you should have been long last night. I said last video, if you're not long on this thing on something, then it's a crime. Now, you may have thought I'll start selling above here, and actually I would have. You'd be underwater by 20 pips right here, but the truth is that you would have made money, see, because if you sold into this, in the truth be known on the 5 and the 15 and the 30, that if you sold into this, you made that. You could have bought into either one of these. You could have bought into this supply. You could have sold into that. You could have done both trades. You could have sold into that and made that. And I'd be selling into this right now, I suppose. Or I'm short because of this filling of that. Then I would have buy limits in like this tomorrow for when the jobs report comes out. And certainly big juicy buy zone here, which is pretty deep. So, but this thing's capable of doing all these whipsaw actions, and you're making money from the whipsaw. So this is definitely ripe for the pickings. Look how they keep just tagging that 10-yard line. 10 pips, 10 pips, then the kickback. Just a great entry from just having a sleeper sell here in a 10 pip window and then cashing out. I mean, good ratios, right? You're making 40 pips if you stayed through the whole crush of that, which maybe you didn't. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so I would be selling this tonight up in here if I didn't have this Euro trade going on. Let's see, I'm going to put on the... Alright, let's zoom out. Get a better view of reality here on this dollar yen. So if I was selling this, I'd be like, oh, well, you know, we're going to be selling here tomorrow. And put some scalps inside of that. Look how the daily is just a mess of up and down. That should deter anybody from trying to trend trade this. Of course, if you're in this downtrend here, I guess the trend trade is this. You identified the trend is down, and you're going to sell anything above, anything that's overbought, which would be anything up here. But in the end, aren't you a range trader? Unless you think that if you sold here, that it's going to be down here, but it ends up like down here, up here, down here, and then it comes back to almost where you got in, but you missed out on these two exits. So that's the big crime. You missed out on these exits, even though you got in this premium sell, and you thought when it came to here it was just going to keep tanking and everything was going to be great, but it didn't work out. So there's that. I think I'm going to buy this pullback. And limits. I guess it's too late to put them in. Let's look at the demo account. Gotta delete this before I move up. Okay, we got this account. Alright, this is my real account, so let me put on some limits. So here, just hand place some. That's not many tickets. It's pretty wide apart. So I'm not running a double clicks here. Let's go to the double click account. It's going to be like this. So I'm up a buck. Now I could have taken that off in profits because of this. Why would you get out? Because it was sheer up for 30 minutes clean up into the sell window. That's why I would get out. But I didn't because it's not a very big position. Right, kind of trapped up there. But now, hey, let's buy some, right? Let's buy some more if we pull back. So here's where I'd build the position, and I'd add to a winner, so to speak, as it becomes a loser, because as it pulls back into getting a bigger position. So that's kind of like it's just a way to scale in, you know. So you don't really want to get out of this, and it's a good trade, but if it does tank, and inevitably it does sell off, it's the nature of the thing. It's just probably going to sell off. Let me see what their tick chart looks like here. Okay, that's going to be that trade. So I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to buy at the mark. I'm not going to chase it. I'm just going to run this scheme, which is buying limits. So we got a different fill here, a different placement for the limit, because the market moved up a little bit. So we got a little bit of diversification there, you know. A couple whites, a couple blacks, a couple brown people, a couple yellow people, a couple green people. You know, oh, we don't care if they're talented as long as they're a different color. Don't be stupid. Oh, you want? Oh, open heart surgeon? We have an opening for a heart surgeon. Look for a yellow guy. A lot of yellow guys are doing maths right now, so I don't know if we have anybody available right now. Pick a color. Did you hear this? Oh, I said the last thing I mentioned the Trudeau guy in the last video. Did you hear him go through the LBGQ2 FUG Plus? Dude, this guy, he's like, him and AOC should get together and make like a. So now that's why I put that in, because I seen that pullback. I go, yeah, okay. Now I got this beautiful triple stack here, running 10K there, 9K to get filled. I think for a trend trader, this is the ultimate. You got a bias, just keep dropping buy limits. Who cares? Comes back, buy some more. All right, so that's the story for tonight. Looking for a retrace, looking to get to the 17-yard line and beyond. Clean up the charts one more time. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour, daily. That thing really fell. Make it to the 17 and then beyond to, well, hopefully it's going to just go up a nice 20 pips here. Doesn't seem like a difficult situation, but we don't know. Here's the whole week. 3 weeks down hard. Taking out the low of this week. So this exit is based on we've already been there. So we've already gotten out of that trade a couple times. So I guess that's a big threshold if you think that still means something, that price. I guess it does in the sense that we did take it out. Everything that happens now is trapped below that, so it does matter. If we close underneath that line, it means that this is all unfair value, even though it's up. But this is the unfair value close below, literally, and then a little bit above, but still in the value zone of like, wow. Now, if this is really going to keep tanking, which, like I said, I have a hard time believing that we can take out this low. And even if we do take out this low, I don't think it would last very long, but it could be wrong. Like, really going to take this out tonight? Okay. Well, you got to stall and then, wow. All right. I'd be very amazed if it happens. But, like, if it does, I'm planning for it. At the moment, I'm still holding longs from taking out the low yesterday. And, waiting for Europe to open 4 hours from now. But yeah, I got enough money to buy down here and buy some more. In fact, let's put some limits in right now. I got filled on these guys. Put them really close, and then I'm covering an area below me. I'll put in some greedy targets here of 34 pips with a 12 pip stop. 12 pips of area. I'm sorry, 12 pip stop to make 34 pips way down here, though. Here's a bad ratio. 12 pip stop to make 8 pips. So we're really trying to... We do a lot of these tickets. As long as it's a different entry price, it's perfectly a good trade. So this will be one I could just go to sleep. I don't have to worry about 8 hours from now. If we come down here, we'll get filled on that. Okay, so this is like end of the world entries. Buying a retest of that. Ideally, getting a 300K down here at the bottom, and then we come ripping back. Smashing back the other direction. So now we're coming back into the middle of the fair value. So look at this 1 hour chatter box. Look at this turnaround. Incredible. I think it just turns on a dime. Yeah. All right, so jobs report. But then I want to be up 50 pips by the time the job report comes out. Now it's going to be ruckus. We could be taking out the high of, based on the jobs report, and then we could take out this high tomorrow. I think that's a high probability. It'd be quite a feat. Go ripping all the way back up there. Otherwise, the other trade is what we buy down here and cash out here. Plan B. I'm going to settle for this exit here. It does a bridge too far up there. This will be the obvious, or even this. Closing prices. You can't see the wick. It's so scrunched in here. So I'm ignoring the wick. I'm just looking at this. Just above 17. And then by the time stocks open, maybe we're banging around in here. Then we could trade all those little mini micro dips and stuff and make money from that. Small fluctuations with a big position. So we did trap these guys. We did take out the high Asia, but we trapped them. Now we've pulled back for a clean 15 minutes. There's the 15-minute. So that was the sell trap window. Clean, sharp, 15 minutes down. Going back to here. We could still go lower now. I'm trying to get queued up for retracement. The daily chart's bullish for the moment. It's up for the moment. It's 4 hours a daily. I think that this 4-hour chart's different than I guess it's the same. All right, 4-hour chart. We got picked up on those tickets, it looks like. Those shallow double clicks got filled, so still up 60 cents there. So it's going to be a better trade. Yeah, this takes a long time. But look at that. Didn't have to trade at the market or nothing. It's autofill. There's the 15. Smack down on the 15. Okay, this would be back into fair value then. So we've done both. Taking out the low of the previous day, taking out the high of this. And the one thing we know for certain is that the market's going to take out this or this at some point in time. We're either going to take out the low of the day or we're going to take out the high of the day. So at some point here. But if we do that, are we going to continue going up? If we take out the low, we're going to continue going down without ever looking back for the next 8 hours after that breakout? That's the question, because you could put a trade plan on here where you put a buy stop up here and you could put a sell stop down there and just say whichever way it goes, I'll just worry about that and I'll manage the trade. And yeah, right. You could do that. As people do that. It's not nothing wrong with that. Being letting the market fill you because it went a certain direction, and then you just go with it. Put your buy stop here. Breaks out, go with it, and manage it. I suppose that's the cleanest, simplest way to trade, but then you have to, at some point, progress to a more sophisticated, or at least more technique different. And you got to see, if you do sell stop here, buy stop here, once you got long, we haven't even got long yet, but imagine you break out, now what, you know? You put a stop here, do you put a stop here? You don't get away from those problems just because you've got your confirmation entry silliness going there. Looks eager to pop up north. On its way to 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, so we're looking to hit that 17. We're looking for a psycho 40 pip retrace before Europe opens. Then probably a pullback. And then the news, it could be taking out the low of today and go down another 30 pips and then go up 180 pips next week in response to the complete beatdown. So it's always responding in some way to the last abuse. It's a constantly abusive relationship it has with itself. That's the marvel of it, see. Alrighty. So that's it. That's the wild, wonderful, boring world of trading. And we're just going to forge on into the night. And looking for a giant retracement because of the horrendous beatdown. In 4 hours, about the biggest 4-hour smash down. And of course, if you weren't here to trade that, maybe your 4-hour robot that buys 60 pips, 60 to 80 pip sell-offs, and it's designed to buy 80K at the market. When it sees that And you come home and you're like, God, look at this robot I wrote. It's just crazy. I gets in and big slam downs. The better way to go is to have like 10 robots that buy on limits or something like that. The market's really, really screaming down. They report for duty and they launch the scripts. That's the best way to go. Team of robots set forth. And then you could run multiple currencies, because if a market's dropping 300 pips every hour or 300 pips every 4 hours, maybe there's only one currency capable of that on one particular week and one particular 4-hour period. And you would just leave that on the robots on all the time, because in Asia it's not going to get triggered. I mean, you usually don't see a 40 pip move in Asia. So there's that. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you could do. And still trade your manual trades in the background. But of course, setting that up, you probably put it on a cloud, because if the power goes out, your EA is not going to run. So I've never run on a cloud, but I have to try it. I wonder how fast the program runs. Is the program on the cloud too? I don't know. I don't know how that works, but virtual, whatever operating system they call that. But that's something to think about. Of course, what's harder to do? Set up 5 cloud bots or just trade the thing manually? By the time you set up those robots, you could have put a trade on. Unless you're good at robots, right? So that's there. There's all these little forks in the road, because some people want it to be a quaint sport. That's the okay, we're looking to take this out hard, and I wouldn't be waiting for a buy stop. I mean, if I really thought that was going to break out of there, I might put a buy stop there, but I could tell you I'd hope I'm long now, just because it was down for 15 minutes, and if I'm bullish, which I am obviously, I would just buy that pullback, or I would just buy it right now. Still have that buy stop in there, but whenever I do that, I usually cancel that buy stop. Like I would just buy 2 at the market now, just cancel the buy stop. And I'll probably buy 1 at the market and put a limit in and cancel the buy stop. So the way that you get into the trade is pretty important. It's not so much the price, it's the way you get in, and the fact that you're forced to buy low because it's a limit order, which means you haven't been there. The price hasn't been there yet. So it's going to be a better price than the price now because we haven't been there yet. So that's what I started when I started to buy at the market too much, because I was pretty certain about the move and the market kept dropping. I said to myself, and I thought it was pretty stupid, but I said, gosh, the better trade hasn't happened yet. Like you're getting in before the better prices start to happen, which is the market starts to tank. And but since it's fun to put the tickets in front of the market like that and see what'll get filled and what won't, it's more of a mystery that way. Which ones are going to get filled, and is it going to get too light of a fill or too heavy? So once you get the touch of that down, how heavy or how light, and I guess always building up your tolerance for a bigger and bigger trade. Not that you're trying to make so much money, but just making it okay to get in a trade that you planned out. I said I'd get in down at the bottom here, and they're filling those tickets, and maybe you're holding on to some. Somebody said they were defending a position. Maybe you're holding on to something that's 40 pips underwater, and you got a 50 pip stop on that. But hopefully you've made enough money on the other moves that trading the giant swings is going to be easier because you at least made money in that flash crash that lasted an hour. So you made money there, and you still got the swing trade on. So it's best to be three different traders: a scalper, a swing trader, and I suppose a trend trader. God, for God's sakes. But a trend trader just means to me that you're a swing trader because you're waiting a long time to get paid. Because a swing trader is going to wait even, well, more, but they're going to make the best ratio because they're really a reversal trader. They're buying the very low and they're selling the very high. If a trend trader that's waiting 2.5 weeks or 8 days to get into a trade because all the stars have aligned, that's a no nonsense guy. Well, he gets in about U.S. before Asia or something, before the spreads get, I don't know when he gets in. And the spreads are going to get bad there, so you don't want to put a tight stop. And I think he's got a pretty wide stop. And then you see that set up and you get in, and this thing's probably working on maybe 5 currencies, right? And apparently it works. People swear by it. And you get in, and there you go, and the market's going your way, and everybody loves you, and you'd probably have a 50 pip stop or 120 pip stop, and you have a 300 pip take profit, and 10 days from now you're like, well, they're hitting my profit, and this is great, and I back tested it, and it's fucking beautiful. Gosh, just look around at the markets and look at the euro right now. I don't think No Nonsense has a trade for that. Like, I think No Nonsense would wait for the euro if he thinks it's in a downtrend, or the people that have built algos. When I say No Nonsense, I mean people that smooth the data out to the fact that they're really trading so rarely compared to what's tradable, like what's really happening. They smooth out the data so much on most instances I can see. I mean, when No Nonsense criticizes RSI, he's using a fucking 14-period RSI. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's like this fucking idiot that's like, I don't see any proof of voter fraud here. What? It's perfectly fucking legit. Who's the asshole? Where do they find these fucking people? We need somebody who can lie. We're looking for, okay, it pays 100, how much is it? 200 grand a year. And what do I got to do? We got to lie. Well, for 200 grand a year, I can start lying. Yeah, it's like the greatest trading system. What's it called again? Oh, it's called the triple mask. You say you got to wear a mask when I trade? Yeah, well, if you don't wear a mask when you trade, my trade won't make money, Don't you know how this works yet? So we're about to break out here. I can't get filled on my buy stop. Oh, this is so great. I'm going to get confirmation on this trade. Oh, God, I can't wait till I get filled on this. Just like the book, it's Albert Brooks, that's the guy I was thinking. Albert Brooks says that dumb shit. So Albert Brooks, here's the flaw here. He says stuff like he talks down to you like you're fucking 8 years old. Well, see what you do here. He says, well, for advanced people, maybe limited entry, but for you beginners, you put your buy stop one tick above. He trades the S&P, one tick above, and wait for them to fill you. And I can't talk like him. I don't know how to talk. And then like Southern accent. And then put your protection here, and then trail it and manage it. He does say anticipate the market's going to go up. So think about getting the fuck out of this thing when you get up there. But I mean, really? I guess, right? Because a beginner can only think about, well, yeah, if I get above here, I'll get, oh, look, I just got filled. Hey, I was right, it's going up. You're really right, Johnny. Look at, you did what the Albert Brooks said. And another guy that said that is Bill Williams. So this is dumb shit Bill Williams says is like, put a buy stop on the top of the fractal. Are you nuts? What, keep getting trapped? So here there's people selling against you already. They're saying, I'm out. You nuts? This isn't going my way. Oh, Lord. Look at, they're trapping them. See that? They just trapped all the goobers. Oof. Another sell. 15-minute shave candle. Boom. 10:30. So that's a big deal here. Are we going to go up or down? Are the goobers getting this one right? They're still underwater in the trade if they got filled up here. So they got filled. They're long. Now they're giving it back there. Oh, got a hammer for the moment. Oh, there you go. Wow. Confirmation again. I put my stop up here because I want to really be right about this trade. So I put a buy stop up here. What do you think about that? That's very good, John. I'm sorry. Ted, that was a good idea to put a buy stop up here. I like what you did. Now, if I was a trading coach and people were paying me, I'd lie to my students. Well, it's better than, well, I guess so. No, I wouldn't lie to you. I'd be like, ooh, what are you, I don't even, you know, I'd say to you, put buy limits in here right now. You missed out. And that's the cure. See, that's the trick. You put the buy limits in here because if you wanted to be long, why not just buy in the 15-minute pullbacks now? You missed that train. You could have bought here when it was down in the 15, but no, you put the buy stop here. That's what they told me to do. I paid good money on this class I took. There was this guy that took this class. Oh, man. He went to this place in England, in London, or whatever, over there. And they had him with the moving average crossover system. And to top it off, here was what he was looking for. They sent him home. They go, look for the setup, back test it. So he did. It was moving average crossover with, like, you're looking for an engulfing pattern. Or not, I mean, not just a hammer, but like this elaborate candlestick pattern. In the background, you have the moving averages crossed over, so you're in buy mode, apparently, or sell mode. It's just, there's no way you could make money trading like this, right? Because if you took every setup like that without regard to like what's really going on with price, how are you going to do that, right? So he would, and of course, this presupposes that you're babysitting this 1 hour chart where you never go to sleep. And you're not going to miss the setup with the moving averages confirming, right? And it's just so cruel because he'd spent so much money on the course that I think he felt compelled to finish it. And I think we were talking to this guy on Skype. And we said, you're going to go in there tomorrow? Like, we couldn't believe it. You talk to people, you just can't believe it. Like, you're going to go for the 8th shot? You're going to go for the 8th vaccination and you got like one eyeball left. You got like a tumor on your brain. And so, I'm telling you, oh my God. You know, what point do you say, this guy, you know, bless his heart, no, this is the same guy that said, after that incident, he wanted to do what I was doing, and he couldn't understand it, so then he said, I'm just going to go trade stocks, and maybe he made money because stocks went up. After that conversation, but they've been up and down, you know, there's been a lot of volatility. And don't forget, if you sold into the COVID-19 crash, stock market crash, you're probably pretty bummed out right now. Let's face it, that's not fun what's going on there. Although it took off after that, you know. Look at this fucking goobers right on this. Look at Albert Brooks is winning. But no, it was bad because I'm not sure if it was the daily charts or the 4 hour. I didn't know what time frame the guy was trading, but yeah, certainly if you're trading the daily charts and you look for a particular setup and But I don't see why you would want to go looking for the perfect indicator when really, if you can't see what's going on with the candlesticks, then you probably shouldn't be trading. Uh, but or you can't see what's just going on with price structures and what's going on there. Just simple stuff like the market just went up 150 fucking pips in an hour. Should I sell? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you should sell a little bit, but I would certainly step out and think about laying track and sell limits up way up above you. Uh, who's teaching? Really, not people aren't really teaching too much entry technique or entry ways to get in and out of the market. Usually, it's about, well, I got a buy signal, or I got a system that tells me it's right 80% of the time. Like, yeah, I don't. How's that even work, right? I haven't checked in on Ryan Brown to see what he's doing, but man, I think you really got to take a look at what's just obvious, what's plain in front of you. You can build these robots, I suppose, clunky robots that are kind of like doing okay, I guess. So Ryan Brown has this robot he posts, and see if he's trading at that Cedar FX, then yeah, his robot could not crash there. Uh, yeah, it just depends what style you want, how you want to make money, right? Because I guarantee you, tomorrow morning when the jobs report comes out, there's going to be another window of opportunity of severe spikes. And if you were to plan to buy new lows, get on the spike, cash out a little bit, and ride the possible retracement from that point on, or it's going to replunge. So maybe it plunges once and then plunges again, and then it just keeps plunging into Friday, but you know how to make money from plunging, or you know how to make money from market panic, like a big rally. But when the market's been going down for a while, and that's certainly anywhere from an hour to like a month, it's just been going down. Um, there's going to become points where it's just too far down. And too far is kind of a loose term, and I don't think you can write a robot for that. And you're not going to win every trade. So if you make it okay not to win every trade, then it's okay if this sell-off that you bought into. Now, certainly if you look back at the charts on the Swiss franc, the depegging, which is kind of in the past now, but 8 years ago maybe, but I don't remember. 7 years ago, that was so brutal that it's not like you could have even put buy limits in front of it. It was dropping so fast that I think it was like over in about 8 hours. It dropped like fucking 800,000 pips in 8 hours. I mean, I don't even know. It's just a mind blowing amount of pips. Scary amount of pips, and a lot of people wouldn't trade it after that. They were like, phew. But that thing retraced that whole fucking move. Go look at the Swiss franc. And it's a lesson. It's kind of like the COVID crash in a way. It really is a government induced order imbalance that wiped out brokers because people were leaning on this bullshit government peg on the bank had refused to let their currency float. And when they let it float, it just tanked. And then it came back to where it was because of the market. The market was like, yeah, that's what it's really worth. I mean, that's in other words, it wasn't far from the pegged price. It's just it just once you let go of that thing, and I suppose that's the biggest order imbalance in the world I can imagine seeing ever in any market. If the dollar versus the Swiss franc, the cross rate, or just the Swiss franc. And the Swiss against the euro. Look at that stuff. Swiss against the euro chart. Blow your mind. That's what back when the market's pegged and shit, which is just a crazy concept. Pegging something like that, forcing it to run in lockstep. Okay, so 2 hours of this, and so I've been recording for 2 hours, and it's like we're just hope we're looking for this thing to keep not look back, break out, and we're gonna go goober long here with the buy stop. One ticket, one man, one setup. Yeah, no offense to the guy that's trading the moving average crossover with the Renko linear regression 5-period RSI and the trailing stop. All right, so, well, could be another trap there, and if so, we're doomed. Otherwise, run some trailing buy limits now. I could add to this position. I would do that right now, actually. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, half hour. Looks like a perfectly good trade. All right, we're getting ready to cash out of this puppy. It's got. I see shortages of vanilla ice cream out there. Somebody's got to do something about that. Oh, I should call the president. Do you think the president? Is there something the president can do about ice cream shortages? Because I know that he's been. I've seen him eat ice cream. I know that's something he's capable of doing. God, this guy. He's gonna wake up one day and shit his pants because he'd be like, "I'm president of the United States." What did you say? They're telling me I'm the president of the United States. Well, you are. No, are you serious? Are you kidding me? He'd probably come up to the microphone. I'm the president of the United States. It's crazy. I really am. I just thought my son Hunter told me that he just thought I was. My son Hunter's selling artwork. It's really good. It's really good art. I mean, it's really worth a lot of money. All right, I'm going to cash out here and make about $5 on this trade. Alrighty then.